Hi everyone, in this video I am going to explain how to create unmodifiable collections in Java. So unmodifiable collections are simply what their name suggests. These are collections which cannot be modified. Now why would you need unmodified collections? So you will need unmodifiable connections in many of the cases where you have a collection, you want to expose it to your client, but at the same time you want to enforce that the client should not be able to modify these collections. This can be any business requirement. Let's say you have a collection of days, you have a collection of some certain numbers, or you have a collection of some certain conditions. There could be anything. So for those cases, we want to ensure that the collection should not be modified, and that is when we use unmodifiable collection. Now let's see how can we create unmodifiable collections. So for this exercise, we are going to focus on two types of unmodifiable collections. First is going to be list type and another is going to be map type. So how can you create an unmodifiable list and how can you create an unmodifiable map? Now there are two ways of creating unmodifiable collection. There is a pre-Java 11 way and then there is a post-Java 11 way. So how would you create a unmodifiable collection pre-Java 11? Let's have a look. So we have a pre-Java 11 way. So let's initialize a list. So I'll create a list of let's say string and I'll say names. Here I'll do this new array list and let's add couple of names over here. Add let's say XYZ. I'll add ABC. So these are not very interesting names, but let's add them. And now let's see how can we make this collection unmodifiable. So to make this collection unmodifiable, we need to use a method present in collections utility class. So that is collections dot unmodifiable collection. So you can use unmodifiable collection which takes a collection, or you can also use unmodifiable list. So let's use unmodifiable list and we can pass a list and assign it to a new variable. So this is going to be our unmodifiable list. This is how we create an unmodifiable list in pre-Java 11 world. Let's have a look internally though what this unmodifiable list does. So if we go inside, we see that it takes the list, it checks whether it is already unmodifiable or not. If it is unmodifiable, it returns the list as is, or else it creates an instance of unmodifiable list. So what does unmodifiable list does? If we have a look, it simply implements the list interface and unmodifiable collection interface, and for all of the methods which basically can modify your list, it throws an unsupported operation exception. Your original list, it is contained internally as a member variable of this unmodifiable list class. We will verify it later on, but first let's have a look how we can create an unmodifiable map. So let me create a new hash map and I'll keep it simple, string, and let's call it map only and new hash map. Now let's add couple of things into this map. So we will put let's say k1, v1, let's duplicate it and have a k2 and v2, and just how we created the unmodifiable list, we will use the similar way of creating the unmodifiable map. So we will use the collections utility class, and if we see we have an unmodifiable map method here. Let's pass our original map into this and let's assign it to a new variable and call it unmodifiable map. So again, this is how in pre-Java 11 world we can create an unmodifiable map. So if we go inside, we can see it creates an instance of unmodifiable map, and if we go into unmodifiable map, it holds the original map internally, and for any method which basically can modify our map, it throws an unsupported operation exception. Now we'll look into how we can create unmodifiable list and unmodifiable map post Java 11. In Java 11, there have been utility methods which are added inside JDK to create unmodifiable collections. So let's try them out and see how we can use them. So I have copied the existing method and renamed it post Java 11, and now let's call this as well from our test method, and now we can see that we have some utility methods in the list class which we can use to create unmodifiable list. So if we have a look into this, so we can see we have list.off. So if you see, it takes list of elements to create the unmodifiable list. Let's see that. So I can pass XYZ, ABC, and that's it. Now if I go and see, internally we can see that it uses an immutable collection class to create list. So this is how we can create an immutable list. Let's assign it into a variable. So I can say that it's a list. That's it. So this is very simple, starting from Java 11 to create an immutable list, unmodifiable list. Now let's try the same thing for map. So what I can simply do is I can do map.off, and we can simply pass the key and value pairs. So I can pass k1 v1, I can pass k2 and v2, and that's it. So we can say map. This is how we can create the immutable unmodifiable map. After creating a list and map, we can also try the same thing for set as well. So we can do the same thing. We can do set.off, and you can see that we can pass the elements. So I can say v1, v2, and etc. So this is our set. Now let's see what will happen if we try to access these collections, or rather if we try to modify these collections. So let's go into collection.test and let's change our code to edit these unmodifiable lists. So here I can do unmodifiable list dot add, and let me add a test to it, and let's see what happens. So let's execute it. And let's see what happens. So here if you see, just like we saw in the code, it threw an unsupported operation exception. So we can see that this is indeed an unmodifiable list, and similar will happen for unmodifiable map and set as well. So I hope you like this video, and I was able to explain how you can create unmodifiable list, unmodifiable map, and unmodifiable set. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like this video, please share it and subscribe to my channel.